book flipped, judging was a big point of action because when Bryce was first moving in, he really came over and was being really annoying, and then after that, like, he didn't even really know her, he just started judging her by, like, how she acted. He thought she was weird and stuff.
I agree with Nolan because it does say in the book that he thought that she was just a crazy person, and later in the book towards the end, it was him and some guy, and they were making fun of her family because her uncle is retarded.
I also agree with Nolan. It's kind of like the theme of our story. Let the egg hatch, don't cook it, because Bryce didn't even want, when Bryce first met Joey, he didn't even want to meet her. He just wanted to let her go away. He doesn't even want to know her. But when it got to the ending part of the story, he really wanted to meet her by trying to kiss her.
I agree with Grace because you can't judge somebody when you haven't met them.
I agree with Riley because at first he wanted nothing to do with Julie. Bryce wanted nothing to do with Julie, but at the end he wanted to meet her as like because he liked her.
Also, I think people that just moved in, they need their space, and they shouldn't just be like rushed to meet somebody. Like let them move in, let them get settled, and be comfortable, and then go meet them.
What do you think, Kobe?
I agree because you shouldn't just stare at somebody's window all day long because that's what she did.
But I kind of agree and disagree with Jasmine at the same time because, I mean, Julie really wanted to meet somebody for the first time in her grade and actually want to get to meet somebody and have new friends, but also agree because he should want his own space to try to get to know people before they try to rush him, rush them.
What do you think, Alexis?
I agree with Haley and Riley Gross because I like what they're saying about like with the neighbor thing, like you need your personal space to like get to know like your ways around and everything. So I think that what they said was really like referring to the book.
What do you think, Kenny?
I don't.
What do you think, Blair?
I agree with Thomas because you can't judge someone when you first meet them.
I kind of agree. I also think that Thomas and Remy are like on the right path because like you shouldn't just like somebody and judge somebody when you just met them.
I agree with Jasmine because it said like towards the end kind of Jolie said like she had liked Bryce all these years but hadn't really known him, and then like what she said like you don't know someone till you really actually like know them kind of. So like it was like really it kind of like happened in the book.
Also too, like Julie only really liked him because of his blue eyes, and that's not how you should like somebody. You like them and judge them by their heart and how respectful and kindful they are.
I agree with Alexis because at first Julie liked Bryce, but then she kind of got over him, and that's when Bryce liked her. So it's kind of like that.
I agree with Jasmine, Haley, and Alexis because you shouldn't just like someone by the way they look. Like you should get to know them and then decide if you like them or not. Like not just like them just because of what they look like actually get to know them and be friends with them.
I agree with Grace because she's right because you can't just like someone because of how they look.
Nolan, what do you think?
Well, people can change, like, because at the beginning of the book, Bryce didn't like Julie and at the end he liked her, because change is most of the time a good thing, and yeah.
But also, there's also a main conflict in the book, like when Julie and Bryce started fighting about the eggs because Bryce tried to throw them out into the dumpster when Julie kept bringing them every morning.
another conflict in the book that I thought was like a big conflict, kind of, was that like Bryce had hated Julie for like a long time, and then Julie had like loved him, but now like towards like kind of towards the middle, I'd say they had like flipped. Like Bryce loved her, but then she hated him.
I agree with Alexis because like I agree with Riley and Alexis, but I agree with Riley because like Bryce or Julie would bring these eggs over that were like made by like her chickens, and like she'd bring them over and like give them to Bryce for free, and she would get money for them, and like they wouldn't eat them because they thought they were gonna get like poison, and her Bryce's dad wanted to know like where she got like where like this like is there like poisoning in them, and they were going to eat them.
I agree with Jasmine because the Bryce's family thought that they were going to get salmonella poisoning because their Julie's family's yard was like all they thought it was all trashy and disgusting and bad, and they thought they were going to get salmonella poisoning, so they just didn't eat them.
I agree. Because it might be poison.
I agree with Haley about the salmonella poisoning, but I wouldn't just throw them away. I would like ask them and talk to them about it instead of just throwing them away without them even knowing.
Also going back to this salmonella, I can't say that poisoning. Like when Bryce's dad wanted him to find out like what it was, I didn't think it was actually very kind of Bryce and Garrett going over there and like pretty much like spying on Julie and like her yard when he could have just asked her, but I think he was just too afraid.
But he had like so many ways to apologize to Julie about everything. Because he like went up to her face and said, "I'm sorry," but he wouldn't accept it. But when it came all the way back to the ending, he planted her a sycamore tree, and then she was thinking to herself like, "Man, maybe I should trust him. Maybe I should get to know him like I used to."
Okay, let's go back to back to the past a little bit from what Haley said about like their yard being trashy. Once Bryce said told them about their yard being trashy, that's when Julie started going on like the high to like fix up the yard, and that's when she started planting her grass, and then like she had trimmed her bushes, and then Bryce's granddad came over and helped.
I agree with Alexis because you can't judge people by the way their house looks because you don't know them, so they might be great people, but you judge them because of how their house looks.
Well, I mean, like about so like when Bryce got chosen for like basketball, I think Julie liked him, but like she didn't want to like say she did.
I agree because when she was like voting for when she had all this money that her neighbor gave to her for the rooster, she thought about actually voting for the basket boys. But when she went in there to try to vote for Bryce, when Bryce came up, she was too scared. So when her friend came up before Bryce, she seen how sad he looked because nobody would vote for him. So her and her friends were calling out different amounts of money to vote for him so he wouldn't feel bad.
What do you think, Grace?
I agree with Riley, but it kind of made me confused. Like, why would people vote for him when nobody even wanted to have lunch with him?
Brandon, what do you think?
I agree with Grace because that nobody wanted to eat with that one person, so they just voted for him so they could make him feel better.
Okay, so I like where you guys are going with this, but Nolan, what do you think?
I kind of wanted to move it on to another conflict, like about Uncle David, because that's a little bit of the story. I think it would be an okay topic to talk about.
What do you mean?
Well, actually, I think that the good thing to talk about is when Julie went up in that tree, she felt happy up on the tree, on the sycamore tree, and then when they took it down, she felt really sad. But then her dad told her to look at the whole picture.
What do you think, Kobe?
I think it was cruel of Bryce to do this stuff.
I also agree with Haley because like Julie really never had friends, and like the sycamore tree is like her best friend, so like just like she grew up there and like it would just make her happy, and that's like the only thing that would make her happy. I disagree with Kobe about it was really cruel because I think Bryce was just scared to go up there because he would be late for school and he was worrying about all this other stuff. But when he was too scared to go up in the tree because he did not want Julie to know that he liked her and really cared about her when he went up in the sycamore tree.
Well, I think also like I think it was kind of cool because like after the sycamore tree got cut down and everything, like Julie was sad about that. And like she never really talked about it, but she was sad about it. But at the like very end of the book, like Bryce was so sorry that he planted a sycamore in her yard, and like, she turned the whole picture around and maybe he is someone sweet. Maybe I should stop hiding in the dark and go out in the light and show myself and go over there and talk to him. So I thought that was really cool.
I liked where Nolan was hitting, like with the Uncle David, like don't judge the picture by the way it looks. Like with the whole Uncle David thing, like Bryce's dad had said that since Uncle David's, retarded, that Julie's family was retarded. So I really liked the way that he was heading with that because that was a whole sum of the book.
And I'm actually gonna stop you there. Good job, guys, on keeping that conversation going with some really good comments. Outside circle, what did they do well? Trace?
I like how Alexis, when Nolan wasn't really saying anything, she said like, Nolan, what did you say on the discussion in this group
Bring it
talking
in.
about?
Yeah, good. Jamie?
I like how everybody's getting included.
Everyone was included, yeah?
I want to thank the outside circle of being quiet.
Okay, yeah, they were good. Trace?
I like how also Alexis when they were getting like they started a topic and then they went out of the topic and then Alexis went back and said I like when Haley she said like go back to when Haley said blah blah blah.
Right, so she wanted to connect to something that was said before, which is good because oftentimes in a regular, good, solid conversation, we hear something that we want to talk about and the conversation goes in this way and we really still want to go back to and connect to what was originally said. And that's okay, as long as you make that connection so that everybody goes, oh, that's where we're going. Yes, good. Melissa?
Something they did well was they were on topic for a while, then Nolan changed it so that it's like
Right, to move it forward, good. And you, don't remember exactly how you did that, but it was an artful, change. Very good.
I like how they worded it, like, I agree with Grace and I agree with Nolan and
Okay,
they were agreeing with mostly everybody in the group.
okay, do we have to agree?
No, you can disagree.
No, yeah, you can disagree as well, as long as you make that connection and it's respectful. Yes, Michael?
I like how they went, like at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the book.
Okay, included lots of different parts of the text, yes, good.
I think one of the things we like could have done better is we kind of kept saying I agree instead of like we didn't put our
Okay, yes, so what are some things that we can do instead of that? Because when you say I agree with, are we really feeling connected in the conversation? No, we're not really growing as much in our understanding.
I feel like we could have said like I want to connect with
Ooh, good one.
Alexis or learn to react with Riley.
Okay,
One thing I noticed throughout the discussion was that almost nobody tried to disagree with anyone. They stayed on topic, which
Riley did one.
I don't think
and you
is
don't have to disagree, but I know that all of you have different opinions. You all, when I looked at all of your preparation, you have lots of different ideas. So being able to share those and diverge, remember, that's how we grow our collective understanding of the topic we're discussing. Good, Alyssa?
Like Alexa said, there were sometimes when people said, I agree with them, like, they technically disagree when they do that.
Okay.
And then with Haley, when she, like, we were talking about, like, what they could say and stuff, I agree, like, is that list there?
Yeah, use the prompts that we have in front of us. It's always a good thing to do. Trace?
I like how, they should,
All right, we are going to switch in just a second. The bell will ring between classes. We are going to ignore that, and it'll get a little noisy for 3 minutes of the passing. Ignore that. When we get done with our conversation, you'll get to have your break. Okay, so ignore the bell. Very quickly and quietly switch places. Those who have stuff on the outside, do not bring it with you. Make sure we have clean that.
she's gonna be like,
Hello.
I think we should change the way that we're like set up because the people that are right there, they go.
All right.
Because you don't know who's talking.
Okay, so we're one.
Let's see.
And then maybe again.
In this Socratic discussion, we will be talking about the book Flipped.
I think the main theme is that people can change because in the beginning of the story, Bryce was like a brat and he like tried to avoid Julie when she wanted to like know him and get to be friends with him.
I agree with Kaden because you can't just let somebody, like, you can't just assume somebody's, like, not a good person. Caden's idea, but I also think that it might be first impressions because the first time Julie came to his house, when they first pulled in their driveway, she was a little obnoxious. So that's when Bryce got this appearance of her, and then the rest of the book, he treated her the way he first thought she was.
I agree with Alyssa. He didn't want to know her, and then he went to not knowing her to liking her personality and liking the way she acts.
You could connect that to seeing both sides, the perspectives of the story, because there's always two sides to the story.
I kind of think Julie, is like Chet and his wife, his ex, because she died, and Bryce and Julie are like that because Chet didn't really know his wife.
Michael, what do you think?
I agree with Trace.
Jaden, we haven't heard from you yet. What do you think about the discussion that we're talking about?
About thinking.
Connor, what is your thing? Do you think that we're
I agree with Trace, like how he said about Bryce's granddad, and he liked Julie because Julie said she reminded him of his wife.
Have you ever had themes?
I also hated Chase because Julie and Bryce don't really know each other, and Bryce just assumes Julie like she's obnoxious and stuff.
I agree with Tyler because Bryce was being obnoxious.
I kind of disagree with, well, jumping back to the theme, I kind of disagree with Caden because I think the theme is don't look for someone that's pretty, look for someone with a good personality.
I agree with Trace because you don't always have to find somebody that looks the best or acts the best. You find somebody that you like and you know and you think is kind and caring.
Adding on to me and Riley, what do you think, Alyssa?
Well, that kind of brings me to like a conflict on how Julie always thought that Bryce was this beautiful person, and then she had this huge crush on him, but she didn't really know him. So that was something that Julie always was thinking about, and that finally brought her to realizing that she never really knew him, so she couldn't really like him.
Let's start talking about the main conflict. Caden, what do you think the main conflict is?
I have multiple conflicts, but one of them is that Uncle David, because it made Garrett and Bryce's dad think that Julie was also retarded.
I agree with Caden on the conflict because Garrett and Bryce were talking about Julie thinks that they were laughing at her Uncle David, but she didn't think her Uncle David was really that bad. I think a main conflict would be the eggs. When Julie would bring them over for years and years, Bryce would have this feeling of him feeling guilty, and it was just more drama building up in him. And then the day that Julie saw him throwing out the eggs, all that drama pretty much exploded, and that really hurt Julie's feelings.
Tyler, what do you want to add on to what we're all talking about? I also agree because Julie got really sad when she found out that Bryce was throwing away the eggs, and she just got really mad at him.
I also think that Uncle David brought Bryce closer to Julie because it's when Garrett was trying to make a joke about Julie being retarded, he wanted to punch him because he was making fun of Julie.
I agree with Caden because Garrett was trying to make a joke.
I agree with Michael because Garrett was trying to make a joke, but the joke really got to Julie, and she didn't see the way that Bryce and Garrett thought the joke was.
Jaden, do you have anything to add on?
Yeah, I do. When every time when Julie brings over the eggs, Bryce thinks there is salmonella poisoning in them, so if he throws them away other times she brings them.
Another main conflict is when Bryce wanted to kiss Julie, well, he tried at the basketball lunch.
I agree with Mackenzie because why Bryce and Julie, why Bryce was trying to kiss Juliana, the other girls, Shelly and Miranda, were fighting with each other. So, kind of back to Caden's idea at the library when Garrett said something mean. I feel like that was not right of them. And then Bryce said he felt like he wanted to punch him and make him realize that was wrong, but he didn't. So I don't know if he really felt that it was that wrong. Otherwise, he would have said something. But at the same time, it was his best friend that he would have been doing that to. But he didn't want to do anything to him.
Connor, what do you think the main perspective of the story is?
If you don't like someone, you shouldn't just spend your whole life hiding from them.
Michael, would you like to add on to what Connor said?
I agree with Connor because Don't hide away from a person. Jaden?
Um, if a if somebody's talking bad about somebody, you said go up and say have you even knew have you even knew what what she's going through?
Back to another conflict, Bryce's parents when they were fighting, because that also kind of it made Bryce and made him like different because he was
How do you guys think the story would go if it would continue on because Bryce planted the sycamore tree in Julie's backyard?
I think it would be like Julie when they like forgive him about like all the things that she may have done to hurt his feelings also. And planting the sycamore tree was kind of a good thing for Bryce to do for forgiving her.
I think the sycamore tree really made Julie like Bryce even more because he knew that she liked that tree so much. So he wanted to make the decision to plant it in her yard to maybe give someone else the joy that she had.
Another thing, going back to perspective, I liked how the book had 2 chapters on both of their sides for every like scene that happened, and that helped a lot with knowing on what happened because some chapters would give more than others would, and they would help with like visualizing everything and feeling how the other person felt, so you could really feel how they were feeling and what was going on with them.
I agree with Alyssa because it kind of compares with Wonder because you get to hear the different points of the different sides of the other person and not just what one person thinks. You get to hear like other people say what they think the story is.
I like what Alyssa said because like if we just got it from Bryce's point of view, then we wouldn't really like Julie. And if we got it from just Julie's point of view, we would be. I would be kind of confused because like first she likes him, then she hates him, then she like kind of sort of likes him. So it's like all over.
Back to the sycamore tree, when she had that real sycamore tree that was grown and everything and she climbed, I feel like that if the book carried on and Bryce and Julie became like real friends, then he would help her save it. But since there's another one growing, it may not grow enough to climb by the time Julie's still alive if it kept going. But like she wanted someone else to have that joy, so I feel like that was really nice of Bryce and them. Hopefully they can become friends if the book were to carry on. Kyla, what do you think?
I agree because I think that really helped out their friendship. Like after he planted that tree, she came out and they started talking and becoming better friends. Adding to what Kyler said, Jaden, what do you think about it?
They said I think they could make another flick. And when Julie when Bryce planted the sycamore tree in the front yard, Julie when Bryce
Michael, would you like to help Jaden?
when Bryce kept on digging, Julie kept on asking his dad why is he digging a hole in my yard.
In her yard to plant a tree, which basically she kind of climbed
she never climbed it, and I kind of disagree with Michael, and she never climbed the tree. It was still small.
Point of clarification, which is one of our skills that we can push ourselves to use next time, clarifying something that's being said. Okay, good job, guys. On the outside circle, what are some good things that they did on the inside? Haley?
Trey tried to include everyone.
Okay.
Not just like,
Yeah, good.
They tried not to say just I agree or I disagree.
Right, and we had some different ways, especially Caden and Alyssa, I think, had a number of different ways that they added in without saying just the road I agree with. Yep, right?
just kind of like Haley's like he like was like one of the people who like did everything, so he was like trying to include everybody else so everybody else could talk too.
Okay, okay. Alexis?
I really like the fact that when Jaden was having trouble like thinking, he had asked Michael like if he wanted to like coach him like come up with an idea, and I think that worked like pretty well.
Did it? Okay. I'm getting feelings that wasn't helpful.
I disagree with
Okay. I would tend to disagree with you, even though it was a very helpful idea. We all need to be able to be given our time to get things out. One time when I was in high school, I had I was on a citizenship trip in Washington, D.C., and there was an author there who was, I think she was about 85 years old, and she was speaking to us, and she said, if you're afraid of what you're going to say, just know it will come. And I've always remembered that. Just, it will come. Just stop, think about it, it will come. So we need to be given that space to let what we're thinking gather up and be able to let it come. And these times when we're pressured under, we're being videoed, we're in a specific time frame, those are times where we buck up and we challenge ourselves and we grow and we let it come like that. All right. Somebody else over here had their hands up. Some of the good things that we did in the inside circle. Okay. Chris.
Like you said, it was words of the wind.
Yes. Hopefully you'll all accept the words of the Webster. Yes.
I like how we continue through it and we didn't just stay on main theme and main content.
Yeah, and you did circle back a couple times. Did we get through all of our questions? Did we hit on our summarization skills? No, so we didn't even get through all our questions, so maybe next time we're gonna need more time. What are some things for next time that we're going to want to keep in mind in order to continue growing in our discussion skills? Mackenzie?
Maybe move like we spent a lot of time in conflict.
Okay. Right, and summarizing in order to say, well, it sounds like we all think that there are a couple, 2 or 3 different conflicts of this, and this. And so now maybe we can move on to the next topic. Yeah. Alyssa?
Maybe not like every time we speak, we just add someone else in because maybe they will want to talk when they would want to. Like including them is good, but not every single time because they might want to talk when they're ready.
Okay.
And then like if you put them like on the spot, they kind of feel like they don't really know.
Yes, that's a very good thing to keep in mind. Because we want everyone's perspectives in the conversation, but forcing someone on every single point might not be as productive and effective. Very good. Jane?
We didn't spend a lot of time on the in the beginning, then the middle, and the end.
Okay, so maybe everyone kind of keeping an eye on thinking, okay, we should probably only be on this topic for X number of minutes. Okay. Yes.
I agree with you.
You did or didn't? Did. Okay, so do we have to agree? Do we have to say I agree with? You can say something. Yeah, I can see your point. Oh, I also believe that, but also think that or like to add.
I have a similar point to
Ooh,
what.
that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, Alyssa?
Like Jaden said, with not staying on one thing, like for theme, we went around and like made everybody say something. Like that kind of goes back to what I said.
Mm-hmm.
But
We
Like
want
if we-
everybody to share.
Yeah, but if we have someone say something like everybody say like at least one thing on every topic, then like we're never gonna get anywhere to another one.
Okay, did we use textual evidence a lot?
No.
No, that's one thing I'd really like to see us use more, to elaborate on, our claims with that evidence that supports it, that really, that's where we get into the deep understanding. Remember what we talked about yesterday, how when someone gives an example, gives evidence to support, that from that evidence, it makes those who are participating think of more that they can connect to, which thinks of more and thinks of more, and it just builds and builds and builds. That's our collective understanding, and the purpose why we have these types of discussions. You guys have all done a great job. I'm very proud of you. I hope that you have learned something. We're going to reflect on that in a few minutes. What I want you to do now, before we take a break, is turn your discussion prep sheet over to your rubric again. You underline things that you are challenging yourself to use. I want you to put a check mark behind the things that you did. So check off your rubric. When you're done checking off what you know, yes, I did that, put it on my table and then take a very quick break and come back for our reflection. Okay, good job, guys.